Hi, my name is Mike Ducker. Some of you might know me, or some of you might not know me. Has anybody seen the movie Forrest Gump? Anybody seen that movie? That's me, okay? That's my bio. I am not the smartest guy in this room by far, but I have been incredibly fortunate enough to work with a lot of amazing people around the world. And so these 10 tips that I was asked to provide, they're not my 10 tips because I'm not smart enough to give you 10 tips. I am just trying to give other stories and people I've met and just interesting things I've pulled. I've been able to manage and be part of a lot of programs that support our entrepreneurs from around the world, including here in Egypt between 2011 and 13. So just some of the things I've learned. One of the most amazing entrepreneurs I have been able to engage with is Jeff Hoffman. I don't know if anybody's seen him speak, but he's absolutely, I've had tears out of my eyes when I've heard him speak. And I was actually fortunate enough to spend a couple of hours traveling through Eastern Europe. And it's incredible how he started down this path of entrepreneurship. He's had several companies. As a young person, he wanted to travel. That was his dream. Having a globe, picking places, and dreaming about traveling to those places. But he became an engineer and got stuck in a large corporation, and then just discovered that he wasn't living his dream. So he left the corporation, started his fly, and soon noticed when you're at the airport, you're standing in these horrible lines to get a boarding pass. Why? And he asked himself, why do I have to stand in a horrible line just to get a printer boarding pass? So he's the one that created the kiosk where you can go up, put in your information, and actually get that boarding pass. He created that, sold that company, and then went to create one of the biggest hotel booking companies, Priceline, which owns Bookings.com and Agoda in Asia, the largest booking company in the world. Sold that, but now he just gives back. The point is, he's always had passion about travel. And my experience has been those entrepreneurs who've been able to have some connection with their product and company seem to do a little better. They seem to be more innovative, they seem to be more persistent and be able to sort of go through the hard things of building a business. They seem to have higher profit margins. Like, people who are connected to what they want to do compared to those who are just, hey, this is a great business opportunity, I should go for it. Just to me, I have seen them become more successful in my life. The second thing that I've learned is this. I have another friend, his name is Bo Burlingham. He wrote an incredible book called Small Giants. And it's basically a book, it's the anti-Silicon Valley book. It's about companies that are small, that have incredible products, that haven't got any investments, that want to stay in control of their company. Their customers are super happy about their business, and them as entrepreneurs are happy. I recently wrote an article about something I call gazelles versus unicorns. There are literally tens of thousands of companies in the United States growing at 100% rate of sales growth do not get venture capital or angel capital. My point is this. Don't listen to the noise. There's a lot of noise of what you should do with your company. It's really your decision. It's your decision. Getting venture capital is great, but there are consequences to that. Being small is great, but there's consequences to that. It should be your decision of what you want to do. This is not, don't let others define what success looks like to your company. This is your company, this is going to be your life. You're going to spend a lot of time and effort there. Make it your decision. I see a lot of noise, there's a lot of critics about startups and technology in the world, and Facebook and Twitter and things like this. Don't listen to that, that's noise. When you are so comfortable with your decisions, you're going to be such a more successful company. The third thing I learned is from May. I know many of you know May from Aventus. I met May back in 2011, at April 2011 at Startup Weekend. We helped support the first Startup Weekend. Was anybody there in April of 2011 in Cairo, Startup Weekend? It was crazy. It was amazing, right? Anyways, nobody knew May. May did win that competition. And I engaged with May a couple times, and no one really looked at May. She was a very introverted engineer at that point, right? Everybody was, at the competition, it was really funny. The guy who won, I remember on Twitter, girls were like saying how cute he was. Like, people were into the pitch and into the sexiness of the pitch and how cool the technology was, not on this introverted engineer. But anyways, over time, I've watched May sort of focusing in on specific parts of her business as she grew the business. You know, getting those first product ideas out, getting market feedback, adjusting it, you know, finally getting some sales, bootstrapping through the whole time, you know, getting her first investment through Cairo Angels, you know, going through the very different parts of your business. And the key part is, you might have a great vision, and it might be huge. You might be some massive global player that wants to dominate something. And that's great. But how you organize yourself and be able to focus on what are you going to do this month, this week, today, in the next hour is so critical, and how you connect it to that huge vision. And at different times in your business, you're going to have to do different things. And so what to focus on is so important. And the ability to focus is what I think separates great ideas from great businesses. Is anybody like drinking coconut water? Coconut water, a couple of you? I think it's nasty. I don't get it, but it's popular. It's better than water. Coconut water is better than water. I don't understand, but it's the hottest product right now in America. I met Larry in Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. He is like the first time I've ever mentored a blue ocean company. He has developed a way to basically skin the coconut and put a fiber around it, organic fiber, that allows him to ship the coconut in its natural product. So it's a natural packaging. And when he went to the States and Korea and other places, they're like, how many can you give us? Like, everywhere he goes, it's like, you know, it's selling like, you know, like hotcakes. That's an American term. It's selling like crazy. Like, everything he can produce, it sells. So I was fortunate enough to mentor Larry. And the discussion was not about strategy. It was not about design. It was really about him. Because the company was way bigger than him now. Much bigger than him. And we had to have a discussion of, where did he see himself in the company? What is he good at? What is he not good at? You know, because he needed to hire people quickly, because this was a unique market opportunity. These health sort of things go up and down, and he had a great opportunity to fill it. And the only way he's going to do it is to hire people and to bring on other executives and management staff. So we had to have a discussion of what he wanted to do in the company, where he wanted to focus his time, and where he needed help. And that really got down to what he was good at and not good at, and what he was willing to let control of. I mean, the most successful entrepreneurs just know themselves. They know really where they're going to help the company, where they really need other people to help, because they're just not good at it. Not everyone's good at everything. I mean, I think some of the successes of Google and Facebook is you have these young founders that brought in more experienced people. You have to know yourself. You have to feel comfortable with yourself. I mean, everybody always says you have to hire people smarter than you, but nobody has really the ability to do that. It is such a mental problem for so many founders I've met, to let other people look smarter than them, look sometimes even more successful than them. It's a huge issue. But if you truly want to grow a great company, you have to be comfortable with you. You have to know what you're good at. You have to know where your weaknesses are. Even at every level, and that will make you successful. I am going to talk about the Viola guys a little bit. I met them also in 2011, and what I remember about them, there was some big sort of program that we had, and they were part of it. And I just remember, I just watched them work the room, and they went to every single person and just dug into who they are, what their networks are, how they can help them. It was just like, I was just watching them, boom, 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 boom. I mean, they were looking for support. They always wanted to be mentored. They were really just an absorption of other people and trying to really figure out how to leverage them. And the thing that I've learned, and I learned it in Egypt, is that having a mentor in your company is incredibly important. It's not just about giving you advice or giving you some connections. It's really keeping you accountable to your business, because it's really, really, really easy to separate yourself as a founder from your business, because there's so many hard things that you have to do to build your business. And a really good mentor relationship will always keep you back, to keep yourself responsible to the business that you're running and managing and leading. Has anybody ever here been to Mostar in Bosnia Herzegovina? Really small. It's at a small place, but it's relatively small place. A place affected by the Bosnian War tremendously. There I met this company called Nsoft, which works on gaming technologies. And I think it was said twice before me, so I'm not bringing anything new up here, but I'm just reinforcing the matter. Execution is everything. It is so important. I have traveled the world, and there's not many original business ideas that I hear, or technologies, but people who can make things happen, walk through walls, are just amazing. This company, you go in there, my schedule was set out for me. They have their sprints. They have an incredible human resource system. Everything is organized. They have a huge process. They're always learning. The founder is just 32 years old and running one of the fastest companies in Central Europe. These companies can be anywhere, but execution is incredibly important to make this happen. I remember meeting the Integrate guys. I think it was 2012, and what was really apparent when I met with them, again, at the time they were just developing the product, was this is a global product, and they need to get out of Egypt. There's no way they're going to be successful by staying in Egypt. This market was in the United States. They're developing something fairly unique. There's no way they're going to do internet research or use sort of online tools to be able to understand that market. So they made an incredibly important decision for their company. They went to the United States and engaged with their marketplace. Most of the startups and entrepreneurs I meet are in developing and emerging markets. And this is one of the biggest issues. They're incredibly happy just to take on their market and be the little fish in their market. It's the rare entrepreneur that wants to go out there and try to go after global markets. And usually what that means is visiting that market. So it's easy to talk about other market opportunities, but you have to talk to yourself, you have to talk to your family about committing yourself. I don't know how many times I've mentored companies, not on going after markets, but how do you actually do that? And oftentimes, there's not many markets you can just market to virtually. There are, but not a lot. Most of the time, you have to make a commitment within your team to actually go out there and talk to your customers. And if you're going to be global, that means you're going to have to get out and be global yourself. I visited this other incredible company in Vietnam called Tapaka. Tapaka is an online education player in Vietnam, and it serves as Southeast Asia. Literally, you go in, there's 5 floors of just customer service people, technical service people, online professors, hundreds of people on each floor. It is absolutely incredible. And I took this picture from their office because for me as an American, it was just weird. We had Zuckerberg, Confucius, Lenin, and Jobs, all these quotes. And for me, I couldn't think about how all these people think it's the same. To me, they're just such contradictions, in the way they think. But they were able to sort of grab on to a communist and a capitalist and sell a light. And that's one of the reasons for their success. I'm almost to the 10 here. Also, recently, the thing I've actually been trying to tell different developing countries is that startup and entrepreneurs are different now than they were 6 years ago. 6 years ago, when you talk to an entrepreneur and a founder in a startup, you tell them, go after blue ocean opportunities, go into unregulated markets. You don't want to deal with the government, You don't want to deal with the big guys. Like, you don't want the competition. But that's limited, right? There's only limited blue ocean opportunities, limited places where the government doesn't have a lot of regulation. But now what we're seeing is entrepreneurs and startups are going against the big guys, are going against regulation. Fintech is not going to happen unless fintech companies push financial regulators on things. This, to me, is going to be the big new opening of, the thing that incredibly impresses me about Tesla and all these companies is not the technology, it's they're going against the big guys. They're going against an embedded car system. So all I can say, and recently in Asia, I talked to 2 ministers who basically said, Mike, we would like startups to start pushing in and being maybe just a little bit in the gray area to force us to open things up, to force us to rethink things. So all I'm saying is it's time to lean in. It's time not to be scared of regulation. It's time not to be scared of the big guys and they might crush you. I know it's tough, but I see the most disruptive things in that space. And lastly, you are incredibly fortunate here in Egypt. I know many of you don't think so, but you are. I started here between 2011 and 13. I've been in a lot of different countries, and the support and the ecosystem that you get from people in the community is just the best. I was just in Eastern Europe, and to convince the business people to mentor the entrepreneurs is a very difficult process. Much here, it's a responsibility that business people, feel about. I just wrote an article about this in TechCrunch a couple months ago. Many of the startups here are really on the shoulders of great entrepreneurs out, from here, like eSpace here in Alexandria. How many startups and people from the ecosystem community came out of eSpace? So when you become successful, don't forget who helped you and pay it forward to the next person in that regard. Lastly, my time here in Egypt was, I just wanted to, for those who especially know me, it was an incredible time. I learned so much about how to help entrepreneurs. It was what I learned here and saw here in Egypt, I'm trying to take to many parts of the world. Again, I know you think like, Mike, there's no capital here, and all these other issues that you're dealing with. But you're very lucky to be here, and I was very fortunate to spend time here. So this isn't just about thank you for the presentation. It's thank you for doing what you did. Thank you very much.